What's up, guys? Back with another video again today. If you saw yesterday's video, you know that today's video is about how I used a specific drink, a specific shake to decrease my appetite or keep those hunger cravings at bay. So, similar to yesterday's video, it's a drink, it's a shake that I made, and I've used these two shakes at different times in my life. So that was when I needed to eat more and pick up some weight, add some muscle, and that was the main goal when I was just not able to eat enough. Now, this video is the total opposite. When I found myself really hungry, getting closer to the end of the day, and I've already hit my calorie limit, and I'm like, what? How am I going to, how am I going to see the night without going over? And if you've ever tried counting calories and eaten in a deficit, you know that it's not always an easy thing to do. It's either that or you're stuck eating like this high voluminous foods that generally don't taste that nice. And I prefer my tasty food still, so it can sometimes come at a cost. So I had to sort of find some ways to make it a little more bearable. Now, how I stumbled on this was actually, it was by mistake, to be honest. It wasn't for those specific intentions. So initially, when I was actually trying to maximize muscle growth or protein synthesis, rather, and that's just the absorption of protein, or converting that into muscle, and just in the pursuit of building more muscle, I tested out a casein protein shake. Now this is just sort of a slower digesting protein as opposed to whey that's much faster. And the thing is, it was really scarce. Finding it was scarce. Not all the protein supplement, not all the supplement stores had them back when I first wanted them. At least where I was from. They were harder to find. I mean, you could come by them, but they were much harder to find. If they had them, there was one brand. There was no shopping for it. So it also tended my English. It used to be more expensive than what the whey would be. I mean, the mass builders was always, those were always the cheapest. If you were trying to buy protein powders on a budget, those mass builders were the cheapest. And then, go whey and I mean, the casein was much more than that. So I couldn't always get it though. But I got it in the pursuit of that slow digesting protein overnight while I sleep, because I was scared of, catabolic, the catabolic state, right? So I wanted to always be feeding my muscle protein. So that's how it started, and I got the casein shake. And then obviously it evolved over time, just like yesterday's one. It evolved over time to get better and more fine-tuned, and I found more purpose for it. So not that the initial purpose wasn't serving well, it's hard to tell, but I would take it every night before bed, and have that slow release. But then when I wanted to start cutting, I found I was still going over my calorie limit each and every night, and I was going beyond maintenance and just actually, so I was really struggling. And it wasn't that I was restricting my calories too low, because that can be a problem for people. You cut your calories too low, then of course it's not sustainable. This was just generally, and I wasn't even at a low fat percentage. I just wanted to get my abs to show, right? So I noticed that if I was always saving the shake right before bed, down that shake, and then I'd go to bed. I actually, it also, one of the steps where it evolved was I started adding in a whey scoop with that, because I saw one of Jeff Cavalier's old videos from Athlean-X, where he says add in the whey and the casein. The whey would get that initial spike of protein when you first fall asleep and all of that, and then the casein would seep through, something to that effect, right? So I started adding whey and casein, one scoop of each. But then I also noticed that if I have it a little earlier, those hunger, because the one night I was just like, look, I'm going to eat some. I need to eat something, and I've already gone over my limit now, and It's like, okay, wait. Instead of waiting, eating, stuffing myself full, and then, oh, it's bedtime. Now I'm gonna have that shake on top of it. Let's just have the shake now. Let's have it now. It might eat into my muscle gain. I don't know. But let's just have it now. Let's see. And I had it earlier, and I was stuffed. I was full. I was so stuffed. And I was like, wow, okay. So if I'm really at that point where I'm trying to really stick to my calories, once I've hit them, then maybe I should just have that shake then, and then wait, and see what happens. And sure enough, try to have the shake, and I waited, and I was full, like literally after drinking that thing. Because you'll actually, if you've ever tried it, you'll see that the casein is so much thicker than the whey. Now it's not just casein and whey. Now I would usually put casein, whey, and if I'm having the shake, I'm not having the same shake that I was speaking about in my previous video. So then this would be the chance where I take to add my creatine, and I even have like this fiber powder supplement that I'm trying out. I want to say it works, but I mean, who's to say, right? Because everything is a whole factor of things that we do. So who's to say what the direct cause is of the result that we get in? We can just speculate. But I've tried it and I haven't seen any problems with it, and I add that in with it. So that looks like a scoop of whey, scoop of casein, scoop of creatine. I mean, the 5 gram scoop of that, right? And then the same little 5 gram scoop of this fiber supplement, and I add that in. I mean, fiber also helps you feel satiated for longer, right? Increasing protein and increasing fiber in general will help you feeling fuller, shake or no shake. But the casein is just slow absorption, and I just find it's thicker. It's I don't know. It's more voluminous. I also find that it keeps me fuller. Now, if you're in the same predicament that I was, where getting this is not maybe a possibility for you, maybe it's out of your budget. Another thing that I find is just having, like, for example, like plain low fat or zero fat if you can. I don't know. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, zero fat yogurt, right? Greek yogurt or whatever. It's that there is filling. It's high in protein. And also slow digesting. I know you could go like your cottage cheese and all of that. And there was a time when I was doing all of those food alternatives for casein protein, but I found that I really started breaking out in pimples, like around my neck, especially. Like, I don't know if it's just the dairy that it didn't agree with me, but I find with yogurt it's not as bad. So you can get really high amounts of protein in super low calories if you're doing a lower fat version, and it's filling. So that's just an alternative if you can't get to the shake. But I promise you, try that shake. It's ridiculous. It's like the calories are like 250 calories, and it obviously depends on the brand and on the specific shake you go for. But it's around 250 calories for around 50 grams of protein, and it makes you full. So not only now, I'm not an advocate for drinking calories, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that. But when it comes to getting protein, it's not always the easiest thing, especially if we're trying to eat these foods that we enjoy. A lot of the time, they're not high in protein, or not as high as we would like. So that's where this comes into play. And this is like one of the only exceptions that I really make for drinking my calories, unless it's something that I really love and I'm like, screw it, I don't care what the calories are, and I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to enjoy this. It's worth the calories for me, because it never comes down to cutting anything out. You just need to know the caloric value and if that taste is worth it to you. But then if your problem is portion control, then you need to try tactics such as this. And this would be having the shake first and then waiting and see, okay, how do I feel? Am I still a little hungry? Chances are you probably won't be. Try it out, because that's exactly how I felt. Give it a try, and if you are, let me know. I'll give you some more tips that you can try it, but I can bet you're probably not going to be. If you like this video, give it a like, consider subscribing, and if you do, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video, because I do post videos daily. I'll see you in the next one.